Welcome back, Movie Misfits. Today is Throwback Thursday. You know what that means? Junk Drawer Flix. So let's check our junk drawer and see what we got. So for today's episode of Junk Drawer Flix, we have Die Hard 2, Die Harder, directed by Rennie Harlan, starring Bruce Willis.
Willis, Die Hard 2, Die Harder.
And I know what you're thinking. Die Hard 2, Die Hard franchise, pretty well known. However, back in the day, when I saw this movie, Die Hard 2 was kind of like the black sheep of the franchise. It was in the shadow of Die Hard 1, which was critically acclaimed and loved by the fans. However, Die Hard 2 was, for some reason, not loved. However, and then Die Hard 3 came out. Everyone seemed to like that one, or most seemed to like that one. Until the later sequels came out, Die Hard 4 and Die Hard 5, that's when it all fell apart. However, I wanted to take a retrospective look at Die Hard 2, see what the big fuss was about. So I will say, when I first saw this movie as a kid, I was like, well, it's not as good, but it felt like a Die Hard movie to me. Had great action scenes, had great one-liners from Bruce Willis. The villain this time around is played by William Sadler. You might remember him. He played Death in the Bill and Ted movies. So, however, William Sadler is the villain in this one. He's kind of a combination of henchman / brains of the operation. The only problem with this is that he's not very memorable, except for a couple of nude scenes that he does. But overall, he could have just been called the bad guy. I felt like that's what his name was. The bad guy. To be fair to William Sadler, he had to follow Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman might be one of the best villains in movie history. Those are some pretty big shoes to fill.
Nice suit. John Phillips, London. I have two myself.
This film had really good tension scenes. I feel like the terrorists taking over the airport, taking over all the satellites and all communication to the airport, and leaving the planes up in the sky, basically circling the airport. Also, Holly Gennaro, or Holly McClane, her plane is still up in the sky, circling the airport. So I felt like that was a really good, clenching point, because you're like, okay, maybe she's going to die. I don't know. It's really cool to see movies like this, because you don't see them anymore, especially with all the digital blood that they added now. This film, all the squib hits and all the gunshots and gun fights that they're doing, blood's just going... It's all like that. So it's classic 80s... Even though it's 1990 in this one, it's like the classic 80s blood splatter. People are getting shot left and right. This is awesome. You don't get to see that anymore. Especially if you watch the later Die Hard movies, like 4 and 5, you're kind of not really seeing that. Especially 5. You're not seeing any of that anymore. It's just kind of and then people fly away and disappear. What I do like about this film, all the references that they throw back to the original film, all the Nakatomi Plaza stuff, that kind of comes up in reference a lot. And we get Sergeant Al Powell, a.k.a. Carl Winslow. John Amos is in the film as well. You might remember him as Mr. McDowell of McDowell's Burgers. He's in the film as well. I felt like his character was actually stronger than William Sadler's. I almost felt like they could have combined the two characters and maybe just had the one. Oh well. But actually, John Amos was actually really good in this film. I felt like he kind of outshined William Sadler as far as mastermind. So as a kid, I didn't care, but as an adult, I did kind of notice this as I watched this film more recently. I know nothing about military weapons or grenades, so I don't know how long it takes for grenades to go off once they hit the ground. But there is a funny scene where the villains throw in the bombs into the cockpit where John McClane is hiding, and he's literally watching each of these grenades fall and hit the ground in front of him before he escapes. But this takes about 25-30 seconds before they go off. It's still a cool scene, but yeah, you have to suspend disbelief in this part, but it is still such a pretty cool scene. It was the 80s, early 90s, so I guess I forgive it. So, is this the best Die Hard movie? No, but it's sure better than Die Hard 4 and Die Hard 5, and sure better than the 60% that it got on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know how it got 60% on Rotten Tomatoes when Die Hard 4 got 82%. Makes zero sense. This has great action, great suspense, not a great villain. I will say that's probably where the film falls. However, it's worth to check out. And it's still technically a holiday movie, and we're still in the holiday season, so I would definitely recommend it. I'm Mike the Movie Misfit. I'll see you at the movies. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on my page. And also, don't forget to check my Instagram at Mike the Movie Misfit for movie trivia games on my stories daily. I'll see you later. I'll see you at the movies.